So I found this strategy or plan by the United States government to be very, very interesting. Now, I have spoken about this before, probably 2, 3 years ago, about the government having an actual plan for a zombie apocalypse. Now, I'm talking about this because I want to switch gears a little bit. We talk about all of the nonsense that could happen and can happen. These are one of these. Scenario is a scenario that has the possibility of happening because obviously not just because of movies, but if you listen to science and you look at the diseases and viruses that are out there, apparently there are one or two viruses that can mimic the zombie apocalypse, right? Even a weaponized rabies, like the movie 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, and now they got 28 Years Later coming out, which I can't wait for. But anyway, it's supposedly they can weaponize rabies to that point where it drives a person mad, but it's not like in the movie where you bite the person and then they become it. It's more of a blood transmission kind of deal, if I'm not mistaken, from what I read years ago. So anyway, there is an actual plan by the United States government. So the plan is called the Con Plan 8888. It's a plan written out by the United States government on how to handle a zombie apocalypse. Now, again, I've always known about this just because of the circle I hang out with and the people I talk to, and even some of the conspiracy theorists that talked about this when I was way younger, right? Probably about 20, 30 years younger. And listening to them, especially when I first heard it around like the age 17, 18 or so, when I first heard it, I was like, no way. I said, that doesn't even sound plausible. But the more they started talking about it, the more I was like, they have to know something is up, or at the very least that this can happen. Now, did movies scare them into writing this plan, or did something actually happen in a small town in the Midwest somewhere a bunch of decades ago, and they were able to contain it? And when that situation was done with and the situation was safe, they came up with this plan. Now, again, this is something I heard a long time ago, but I find it interesting that this article comes out now when everything going on, with all the crazy shit that's going on, everything, all the craziness that's going on in space, you got UFOs, you got the second coming of Jesus, you got a lot of stuff heading our way, and this thing drops on our lap. Not to mention the possibility of a nuclear war or a nuclear device going off somewhere in the world, and the biggest war the world has ever seen popping off, World War III. So this drops, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why not? Why not add to the plate of shit that we already have going for us? We have a big plate of shit sitting in front of us as we speak, and this plan drops, and I'm like, great. So now, guys, of course, in the plan, it's the continuity of government is first, then the people. In the movies, the government is protecting the people, and then the continuity of government. It's the other way around. It's always been that way. It's government first, then the people. They don't sit there and try to protect the people unless they have the entire reign of government protected. And not the entire, because they know that they're going to lose some people. They know that they're going to lose a part of their cabinet and a part of, and a lot of the politicians, whether they're Democrat and Republicans, they know that they're going to lose a lot of people. And there are a lot of politicians who are just not going to be sheltered, right? Because there's a level of politicians where they shelter, and then after that level, you're on your own, right? So that's probably including mayors, governors, and things like that. High-ranking senators, congressmen, and everybody else close to the president who gets sheltered in place. Obviously, if you have family and friends and you're connected to these people, you might get sheltered in a place as well, or protected as well. But if you're not, you're on your own. And if you're on your own, you're one of us. You are preppers or anybody else who's paying attention to what's going on. Now, obviously, guys, with this plan, if you will, the United States government has this plan, again, to have the government going, to keep the government going, excuse me, but to fight zombies, to fight them. Again, I'm reading this, and I'm not surprised, but I'm just amazed at the timing that this is coming out. Now, according to the United States military zombie fighting plan or attack plan or whatever you want, there is a safeguard to protect civilians. But again, that comes after the government is protected and safeguarded, and then they safeguard us. The problem with safeguarding us is it depends on where it happens. They're going to attack that area first. So again, if it's a small town in the Midwest and they can contain it, they absolutely will, and they'll go in there guns blazing. But then there's the other side of that coin. If it happens in a city like, I don't know, New York or LA, somewhere too big to control. Now, in movies, Manhattan is the ideal, what you call, spot for it to happen because it's on an island. Manhattan's on an island. But if it happens in the outskirts of the city, like the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, right? Those areas are part of what I would call mainland. And there's a million one ways to get off of that, off or away or out of that. If it happens in Jersey near New York City, then you're really screwed, right? Because now it's across the Hudson and can spread across. Nonetheless, they have a plan to fight against zombies and protect people. Do not depend on the United States government to protect you from this. This is where now I talk about you protect yourself. If there is a zombie apocalypse, the very, very small chance that there is still a chance, but it's very small. If that does pop off, you're on your own. You are fighting on your own. You're making sure you have food and water. You're making sure you're somewhere where you're not going to be found by the zombies. Again, guys, the United States government has a lot of weird plans. They have a plan for an alien attack, a legit plan of alien attack. And their alien attack plan, from what I've been told, I've never read it, but I've been told that it's very, very detailed. Detailed to the point where they know who they're going to be fighting. That's how detailed it is. The zombie apocalypse plan is detailed in a way of sort of like a mass riot with people running around haphazardly, either killing, biting, scratching, whatever the hell zombies do in real life. Who really knows? But I just find it interesting that this was dropped in the time that all of this nonsense going on. And when you talk about the Bible and the dead rising again, and this article dropping, and people talking about the second coming of Christ and things in the Bible are coming true, maybe there's somebody in the government that's following the Bible and looking at this and going, this could happen. Or this is just one of those distraction things that they have us looking at for now. Meanwhile, they got something else going to play. There is always that. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Prepper channel.